Hi, I'm Stuart from the Caravan and Camping Industries Association of South Australia, and we're here for our third Ask an Expert video. We're here with Ricky Yesser from Follow Me 4-Wheel Drive. He's an expert about 4-wheel driving, and we're at the beautiful Brownhill Creek Caravan Park, which is only a few k's from the city, and I really recommend that you come up and have a look at it and maybe inquire about staying here. So Ricky, we want to talk to you about the average punter wanting to go 4-wheel driving. Lots of people own 4-wheel drives, but they never really use it. Maybe they use it mainly for the capability of towing, but there's so much more you can do in a really safe fashion. So I'm going to hit 3 different scenarios and about 4-wheel driving, and if you could give some advice for the newbie about what to do to make it a lot safer and easier for the car. All right, so we'll get a bit of a quiz.
Bit of a quiz, okay.
All right, so first of all, we've got the Lakeside Nissan Patrol here, which is a fantastic, very capable car.
Oh, they're an awesome piece of machinery.
I would hate to scratch it. Not to say that I have scratched it a little bit, but anyway, I would hate to scratch it. So, all right, if I'm taking this on the sand, I'd like to think everybody knows to let your tyres down a bit when you go on sand driving. But if you don't know, you need to let your tyres down a bit. It's so much easier for your car to grip. So when you're talking letting them down a bit, what type of pressure do you think the average punter should let them down to if they're going on the beach at Gorwa, maybe?
Okay, look, going down to Gorwa Beach, for example, starting at 18 psi and work your way down from there. Initially, when you get onto the beach, it's going to be nice and soft, that first little section. Then it firms up on the high tide mark, but then it does become softer as you go down the mouth. If you find that the vehicle is struggling, all right, and you're not getting the momentum, just drop some more tyre pressure out, down to say 15 or even 12. I've been as low as 5 psi in soft sand.
Okay, so you let the tyres down and you get on the beach at Galway, and as I said, if you've got a 4-wheel drive, you haven't tried it, Galway's a really good beach to just try out. So you're driving on the beach and the tyres are down, and it's gripping better now.
Yep.
Fantastic. In the car, do we got to turn it to like lock diff or sand mode, or there's something?
Well, look, many 4-wheel drives out there have different types of selections. There may be a knob, a button, or a lever to pull, but you're going to put it into 4-wheel drive high range initially.
Okay,
so
range.
That's locking your front and rear axles together, so you're getting 50% of the power to front and rear. Depending if you're in an all-wheel drive vehicle, they may have a lock button or some way of locking that centre diff in an all-wheel drive. But get your owner's manual out, and that will tell you exactly what to do.
Yeah. So when I let the tyres down, I just undid the cap and I just found a stick or a stone on the side of the road and let it down. I know it's a bit more technical. I would just check with a pressure gauge. There are fancy tools you can do to pull valves out and whatnot, but it really is as basic as just pushing a little valve in, letting some air out, but then measuring it as well.
Well, look, you can go to any of the auto accessory places and buy one of these little buggers here for about $10.
All right, excellent. Yeah.
Or you can go a little bit further. You can go and buy an inflation kit or something from, for example, ARB or TJM. You can go and buy the gear from them. And there are also easy deflators out there, which you screw onto your tyre and you pull the valve out and it's got a gauge on it.
Yeah, look, I tried the valve puller before, and I think, one day we'll have a seminar at the show to show you how to use the valve puller. So we've let the tyres down and we've put it into lock mode. So if you had to bring one piece of recovery gear for the average punter, what do you recommend that they throw in the back, just in case where they get a bit bogged?
Okay, shovel. Long-handled shovel would be the #1 piece of recovery equipment to carry. If you do get geographically challenged, the first thing you're going to do is give up early. As soon as you start spinning the wheels and you're sinking, get out, get the shovel out, and just dig away some of the resistance, a path between the front wheels and back wheels, and just give yourself that ability just to roll forward. You could rock your vehicle backwards and forwards to create a nice firm pad, which then will give you the ability to pick up some momentum to drive.
So hopefully for just at Gorwa, we don't run into those problems, but you always just grab a shovel from the garden shed, put it in there. Could be just a gardening shovel, could be a long-handed shovel, something that you can move a bit of sand quickly. You don't want a little hand thing, it'll just take it forever, but okay, all right. So we've covered sand. We think that it's pretty easy to go on sand, and I recommend if you've never gone to Gorwa Beach, go down there, have a drive, take the kids, take the family, take a picnic, and have a bit of a run on the beach.
Well, speaking about picnics, Stuart, if you are going to pull up there on the beach to have a bit of a picnic, turn down towards the water where you're going to get the nice firm sand, and then reverse back up into the softer stuff, because if the tide does turn quickly and you need to get out, you could just drive straight forward instead of trying to do a 3-point turn, because every time you stop, you've got the weight of the vehicle.
That makes sense. So so you're kind of away from the water. If you're the water, you're on this side of the water. You drive along. You drive down nose towards the water, and then reverse it back up to
exactly. Here's your water. Just turn down towards the water onto the firm stuff, and just reverse back.
Excellent. All right. So we've done sand.
Oh, there's plenty more about sand we can go into.
I know, but this is for the newbie. We just want to touch on a few topics. And I know you can talk the leg off a chair, Ricky, but we haven't got so much time. But here we go. So we're going to talk about mud.
Oh, I hate
mud. Oh, it's so muddy. Funny,
it's sticky, it's dirty, it gets in everywhere.
Yeah. But you know what? There's a bit of fun in the mud. If we're going into the mud, I guess you got to let your tyres down as well a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so same type of principle for the sand?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Look, if you think as you reduce your pressure, all right, first of all, you've got to reduce your speed. But you're going to increase the amount of contact on the ground or the footprint on the ground, which is going to aid in traction. So if you think of walking in snow, your feet go down to a compression point and then you can move forward. But you put your snow skis on, you stay on top of the snow because you spread the load over
so your tyres are a larger footprint. All right, so we've let the tyres down. We've come straight from Gore. We're going straight into the forest now, into a little bit of mud. So when we turn the car into high range or lock or sand mode, what are we trying to make the car do engine wise and torque wise inside? Is there a switch for mud, or is it high range or low range?
Well, look, it all depends on the situation. You can use high range if you've just got a little bit of loose mud, but as soon as it becomes soft or boggy, drop into low range, because low range is going to give you that reduction gear, which is going to make the wheels turn slower, which is going to aid in traction. If you're in high range, your wheels could spin quickly, and that's where you're going to end up getting
so you lose traction when your wheels are spinning when you're going too fast, plus you lose traction and control when your wheels are locked. So if you're slowing down, you don't want to really jump too hard on the brakes because your wheels are locked, and it doesn't matter what you do with the wheel, I think, is that right? You'll probably still go straight.
You're going to be understeering. Look, if there are small ruts there, look, I'm not talking about heavy rutted country, but if you've got small ruts there, stay in the ruts because they become a set of railway lines to guide you through where you need to go. Definitely locking into low range. If you've got a low range capable vehicle, all right, you will need a small amount of wheel spin just to break through the soft stuff to get to the firm stuff.
Okay.
If you find that you are becoming stuck, you can do a hard left, hard right, hard left, and that will create a paddling effect to help move you through. The other thing is keep your speed down to a minimum, because the faster you go, the further you slide in mud. It is a dangerous bit of stuff. If you're on, for example, you're out on one of the bush tracks and all of a sudden it's hard clay and it becomes wet and slippery, stay on the crown of the road, in the centre of the road, because that's where the water will run off and it'll be a lot drier up the top there. All right,
so we've covered mud. And by the way, we always recommend, if you ever go forward driving, only go on the tracks and trails that are open for those activities.
Just jump on the Department of Transport website. There are an extensive map of road closures throughout South Australia.
Brings me to another idea. We're going to have Ricky back about the 5 best four-wheel drive tracks, trails to go to in Adelaide. But the last one, because we haven't got too much time. Rock and hard dirt. So it's hard. We're talking about driving fast over hard, rocky terrain, and potentially slow if it's very, very rocky. Tyre pressures, principles the same?
Principles are the same. Once again, reducing pressure, reducing speed. If you're on, for example, those gibber roads or corrugated roads or stony roads, dropping your pressures down to around about 25 to 28 psi, depending on your load. That's going to soften the, especially in corrugations, your tyres become a set of shock absorbers to aid your suspension. It's going to help with puncture resistance, because if you think of a balloon that's really hard, it's easily penetrated. You reduce the pressure on your tyres, it's now got flexibility to absorb those shocks. If you're in steep, heavy, rocky terrain, you still need good amount of pressure in your tyres, but that 25 to 28 works really well for all those situations. Depends on the situation. If it's a bit scrabbly and loose, then maybe drop down to around about 22 psi. You don't want to go any lower than that, because there's a high potential of rolling tyres off the rims. In all situations, when it's sand, mud, or your rocky terrains, you want gentle and progressive braking at all times. Because you could lock wheels, ABS kicks in and extend your braking distance. Engaging your four-wheel drive system connects the front and rear together.
So we're going fast on a four-wheel drive track. We're doing like 60 k's, 80 k's on an unsealed road. Do we still have it locked?
Oh, definitely. Because what you've got now is your front wheels are pulling, back wheels are pushing, creates a bit of stability on road.
So it's more grip when you're turning as well on the open, unsealed roads?
If you're on two-wheel drive, there's a potential for your back wheels to break traction, you slip sideways. Whereas having your front wheels pulling and pushing, clutching gives you that stability. The other advantage is when you're on road, you've got about 70% of your braking done on your front wheels and 30% on your rear because of weight transfer.
Yeah.
When you engage four-wheel drive, you now make it 50-50, which then gives you the ability to pull up nice and straight, and you won't have that front diving, all right, and the front wheels locking
So it changes the braking as well.
Yeah, because you physically connect your front and rear drive line together.
So we're driving high speed, low speed, really rocky. I reckon I know this one. Low range.
Definitely. Definitely.
You have to be on something for that. Really slow. Don't damage your car. Mm-hmm. We don't want to damage the Lakeside Nissan car.
Good old Lakeside Nissan. We've been doing Lakeside Nissan for years, haven't we?
And nice and slow, just rolling over lumps, picking a line.
Yep.
I'm thinking about my days on the mountain bike. So kind of pretty similar principle, really. If it's really rocking, pick your lines and just try to go slowly through it. If you rush it,
then you end up getting yourself in trouble.
Sure, yeah.
So what you want to do is pick the high points to put your wheels on. That way you can able to maintain traction and momentum. If you drop them in a hole, you're climbing up a hill and there's a hole there, then basically the power's going to find its path of least resistance and it's going to make it even more challenging for you. So picking the high points gives you the traction and momentum. You're going to climb in the highest practical gear, all right, when you are climbing the hills, and you're going to pick the lowest possible gear in low range, all right, to basically give yourself some engine braking. In the sand, you're going to accelerate and drive your way down a sand dune.
Told you could talk. I told you. Okay, so one more thing. Two more things.
Two more things, okay.
If you had to buy one thing to add onto your four-wheel drive, just one thing, what would it be? Quickly, Ricky. No, I don't want a big list on this one. What would it be?
Okay, look.
Quick one, Ricky.
Quick one. Compressor.
Compressor. There you go.
Definitely a compressor, because if you're going to reduce your tyres,
you need to reinflate them. All right. And one more thing. You're going to give away a prize. So, as usual, anyone that comes on the show, we want to give away a prize. And what are you prepared to do?
Okay, I'm prepared to do a one-day sand driving course. All right, for up to 2 people, all right, and they can come out and have a fantastic day out at a property that's actually exclusive to Follow Me 4-Wheel Drive, all right, out at Peak, which you've been out there and had some fun.
I think so. I went out there years ago, didn't I?
Yes.
In the Nissan Pathfinder.
It was
back
the Pathfinder,
then.
yeah.
That's a good car in the sand, I remember.
Oh, they're a great machine. And that was
anyway, sorry, we're actually dribbling. But, look, thank you so much, Ricky.
My pleasure.
We hope you've got something out of this introduction to four-wheel driving, and we really recommend that you get out a little bit further, take the family out, go for a drive, have a picnic, and really start to use your four-wheel drive a bit more. So, thank you very much.
Well, Stuart, just quickly, if people, look, honestly, mate, if people are going to go out, I'd strongly recommend they can give me a call. I'm more than happy to give them advice over the phone, or get them to do a nationally recognised driver training course.
And maybe a four-wheel drive club?
Four-wheel drive clubs are good, yes, but they don't do any training anymore. All right, but better off coming to a nationally recognised training provider and let us teach you the right way.
Okay, now, Georgie behind the camera's doing this, which I think that's it.
So she might be doing this as well.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.